Welcome into Westminster College for the 6A Boys Lacrosse Semifinal. The top-seeded Corner Canyon Chargers preparing to take on the 4th-seeded Weber Warriors. Thank you for joining us, everyone. My name is Dane Stewart, and I am pleased to be joined by Tim Haslam of the Utah Lax Report. Tim, Corner Canyon, nationally ranked 24th in the Max Preps. Top team throughout the state of Utah all year long. I think most people think this is their game. But Weber, this is a team that was sneaky in Region 1. If they want to try to pull off an upset, what do you feel like Weber's got to do in this matchup?
So first of all, they need to take care of the ball, right? Value every possession. They need to take care of the ball, value every possession, right? If they get it in their offensive end, really be methodical. You don't want to be too slow because obviously this is a game of pace. But, no silly mistakes, unforced errors, stuff like that. If they do that, do they have a chance? Maybe. It'll be close.
Look, no one thought the 1980 U.S. men had a chance, and they figured out a way over the USSR, so you just never know. But it kind of feels like that, right? I mean, Corner Canyon has been that good for a couple years now, ever since the sport was sanctioned. As Chargers wearing the white, Weber in the red. There's a lot of players for Corner Canyon. I mean, you talk about John King. He's got it right now, looking for that shot. Rattled off the cage, off the goalie, and in. And it's 1-0 Chargers.
Dane, I've talked all season. People ask me, what makes Corner Canyon so good? The reason they're so good is they're 100% of the time.
1-0 Corner. Face-off gathered by the Chargers. This is Ben Dixon. What makes Corner so good, Tim?
100% of the time at 100% effort, right? They never take a play off. They're always moving. They've got a high motor. And then they just have great coaching, right? The strategies that they implement are sound. They've got just years and years and years of coaching experience on that sideline. Just a fun overall team to watch. Probably the best team, that's ever come out of Utah.
They also have loads and loads of D1 talent. We talk about John King, future Penn State Nittany Lion. Can't wait for him. State College is awesome. John, gonna love it. Hey, why not, huh? Go for two there, and 2-0 here, Corner. But then you look at a guy like Mason Quick. He's committed to go play at the U. There's a lot of offense for the Chargers as King has 2 here to start.
That's the other thing that makes them dangerous, right? They're stacked at every position. You look at other teams, they may have 1, 2, 3, even 4 guys who are pretty dangerous, but Corner Canyon has 10 that are dangerous on the offensive end. And then on the defensive end, it's the same story, right? I looked at their defensive stats the other day. They aren't giving up more than 2 goals in any quarter. On average, right? And the first quarter, it's like 0.7 goals, some crazy amount like that. So just dangerous all over the field.
Corner Canyon just attacking, and this is Mason Eklund with the goal.
I've watched Weber a handful of times this year. I think that, honestly, the big stage, going up against Corner Canyon, that's wreaking havoc on them a little bit here. They're a better team than what they've shown so far.
So let's talk about Weber a little bit. This is a team that lost in the B Division semis last year to Alta. And look, Squish easily, he had the big year last year. Another fine year for the senior this year, 45 goals, 46 assists. Pierce Britton, the sophomore, 49 goals. I mean, they can score, but there's a little difference in Region 1 versus Region 4. Not to harp on that, right? But it is a different animal when you play corner.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And, we can maybe hint at the RPI and how they're a 4 seed and how that sort of plays into it as well. But it is just a different beast. Again, these players, like you mentioned, are D1 athletes, playing with more or less, great coaching. And just this is the other thing, Dane, is they just shoot. They're the best shooting team that Utah's ever seen, right? So far, 4 shots, 4 goals?
Yeah, that was Mason Quick, who picked it up in the middle, took it all the way. The future Utah Ute saw some associations with the Utah program here, and they got to love what they're seeing in an early timeout here taken by Weber. Timeout, 4-0 Corner here, a minute and a half into the 6A semi. We'll step aside and be back after this. Looking back, remnants of Park City in the 5A semi, huh? 4 quick goals here by Corner Canyon. And Coach Gordon, they're needing to try to figure out how they can just get possession. They haven't even had possession across the midline yet.
Yeah, it starts at the face-off X, obviously, and Anthony McKay, very, very dominant, has been for his entire Corner Canyon career, and that's where the battle starts, And then here you see, with a nice win back, can Weber cause a turnover in transition? Now, their chances aren't great, but that's why we play the game day. A four-quarter game. See what happens.
DeGracie looking for the corner there. Missed that. Backed up here. One of the things with Corner Canyon, and it makes it really hard. Playoff runs, they've all dyed their hair blonde, and so you're used to seeing like a certain look with the helmet, right? And that's now gone, right? So throw that away. And here's Frankowiak with it. Blake coming around the shot. Again, high, backed up here. And the phenomenal thing when you talk about some of these goal scorers for Corner Canyon, you have John King, now with 84 goals on the season. Coming into the game, he's a .426 shooting percentage. Mason Quick, 75 goals, .536. I mean, he's over 500 with 70 goals. That's unreal, Tim.
Yeah, and that's what the coaches at Utah seeing him, and not only that, Dane, but I hope we get to see him in the open field because he's the fastest player on the field by far. It's ironic his name is Quick because he's by far the fastest player out there.
What do you think about last year, that championship against Park City? I mean, it really kind of felt like it was his far line run, right, from defense to offense that finally got traction for Corner. Getting that win. Quick here, looking for the feed, plays out, and the goal. Scored by John King, number 3, and Quick with the assist.
It's interesting, Dane. A lot of people will say, oh, you must go to a lot of Corner Canyon games because they're the best team in the state. And my answer is I actually don't because their games are boring, to be completely fair and honest, because it's like this. Are they fun to watch? Absolutely. Are they the best team? Absolutely. But for me, every game they've had this year outside of the ones they played out of state have been like this, and the Park City game was a little closer than maybe the Corner Canyon fans would have liked, but that's the reality.
So, hey, word to the wise, Corner, when you guys get ready to go out of state next year, give us a call. We'd love to come with you, huh? King.
I tried to get him to send one of my video guys, but that didn't quite pan out.
Didn't work. Yeah. Represented well when we went down to California. King, goal there. Nice save put on there by Heyman. Senior keep for Weber.
That's the other factor in this, right? If Heyman can progress and get better and continue to make shots, well, it'll get a little closer.
Look, here's the other thing about Weber, right? We talk about, Region 1 and Corner. It's an animal that nobody in the state this year has seen. Even Park City, it was one-sided. I mean, 16-8, I think it was the final, but it was not that close as the wraparound goal here scored by Osborne. But, I mean, look, you got a player like him, and this is the best team you're ever going to play against. So you make a save on John King, and next year when he's playing Big Ten Lacrosse, be like, I stopped him.
Totally.
I mean, he scored 3 in the – yeah, totally. I got a save,
Oh, yeah, totally.
Those moments.
Absolutely. And hopefully Weber, most teams when after games maybe don't watch the film if it's their last game of the year, but maybe, Weber watches this one after and sees what they can do. Really, if I was any team in high school in Utah, I'd be watching any Corner Canyon film I could get my hands on just to see. Part of it is the athletes. I understand that, and so that's something that maybe you can't replicate, but, you start to look at their schemes. How do they slide? Yeah. You see here they press out. That's one of their trademarks is how far out they'll play you on defense. And, just start to pay attention and maybe glean some information from that and apply it to your own team.
Boy, couldn't tell if that was a shot or a pass coming out of the pocket there of Albert as Corner gets the clear. Do want to let you know the clock you see on your screen, unofficial. We try to keep that manually synced with the official clock here in the stadium as Santee taking the check there and finds it near side with Hanks. Working up with Anderson. Dawson right in front. DeGracie wide. On DeGracie, he would have loved to have had that shot back. Frustrated he missed it.
I think he thought he wasn't going to be that open when he shot it.
In play here with Archibald. Jackson. Try to get that feed over to Baugh. Staying on it here with the Chargers. Up with Porter Wells. And now King. Working off the screen there. King quick to his feet. Down shot there and secured by Heyman. We were trying to bring it up. This is Tanner Johnson. And corner trying to get it. And Weber has it. Braxton Rich ducking through the Chargers. And here comes corner.
Trace White with the huge takeaway. Just had his stick in the passing lane like you're taught to do. Weber just happened to pass it right into his stick.
Hunter Jones trying to scoop it here for Weber. We have an injured Warrior, and they'll stop it here to have a look. There was a collision there, and I kind of missed it, but well, this doesn't look good. Injured Weber player will step aside as they come out and have a look. We'll be back. You're watching the 6A semifinal on KSLSports.com. Welcome back. They were quick to go there. It was Jay Ferry, the injured Warrior, able to put some weight on the leg. Good to see. He'll be looked at on the sideline for Weber. Warriors bringing it ahead. Alvord playing back here with Squish. Easily, that one didn't get lost cleanly. How about the check? That's what happens when you have an offensive lineman playing lacrosse. That's Brody Kucherer, and he was a lineman for Corner Canyon these last couple of years, and now it's Squish who trying to get back to his feet. I think he just lost a shoe.
That can happen, that's why they have laces.
Brody, he's got some future with football. Young man committed to move on, play college football. And how about that? Sometimes people think linemen are slow. He's out here playing defense lacrosse for a top 25 team. Like, linemen are not slow. Brody's.
Seen a couple linemen, on Lone Peak. We saw Connor Kelly. He was defensive.
D-line,
okay.
D-line. Yep.
A little bit different. I understand that. But when I played.
D-end, actually, too.
Okay.
So rush
sure.
and speed rush, yeah.
Sure. When I played, though, we had a couple offensive linemen on the field, with us. And, yeah, they can move.
Quick. He was looking for a goal. That might have deflected off a Weber player. Just wide is still exchanging possessions here, and corner will have it. In play. Frankowiak tosses it to DeGracie. Moved up. Osborne right in front. Great ball movement there by Corner Canyon as it's Archibald with the goal.
Great ball movement there by the Chargers. Again, that's what makes them dangerous is just, the passing is so crisp and so on point. And then, they just don't drop the ball, right? It can be refreshing to see for those who are watching. But just a great play there, great team effort, great offensive ball movement.
We did the 4A girls semis yesterday, myself and Kenzie Christiansen. It was one of the things that really stood out about the Park City girls team was the ball movement and the passing completion that they execute at it. It's like they don't drop the ball. I mean, it's pocket to pocket, it moves, and it's like right in front, and it's scoring. And speaking of, another goal scored here by Corner, as this is DeGracie with his first, and it is 8-0.
Again, one of the things that makes him so dangerous is it's just not 1, 2, 3 players, right? 6 different goal scorers so far on 8 goals. Handful of assists from those players as well, right? And that's just what makes him so dangerous. But to your point about Park City, that's what makes them so dangerous, the Park City girls team. Just phenomenal athletes. Usually in girls lacrosse, if you have one that's maybe faster or can just get down the field better, that can pay dividends for your team. But with Park City, every girl can catch, every girl can pass. And right hand, left hand too, right? That's important. And then they do that really well.
How about 5A? We have the same girls championship as boys championship. Park City Olympus.
Yep.
In both the girls and boys.
Same region too.
Yes, yep. Corner Canyon with it. I give this back quick. Come to the wing here with Frankowiak. Back to Mason. Mason through traffic, shot, save made by Heyman. Nice save there from Cole. Giving up. DeGracie, just wide. Couldn't tell if that was saved or not.
Looked like Hunter Jones got a stick in the way there. Listed as an attackman, but with the ball out there today.
DeGracie had that lost. Captured there by Weber. And this is Gavin Dominguez. Giving up. Frankowiak looking in front and just missed. King tried to give it over to Quick. Knocked loose. King's tried to stay on it here. Good defensive stick work there by Weber. And it will stay here with Corner. Trace White. Right in front. Frankowiak. Goal.
To the chagrin of the entire Corner Canyon team, or parents next to us who are yelling, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it, opted for the pass, which was the smart play. Doorstep finish. And Dane, again, that's like the next level of lacrosse, right?
Yeah.
It's doing the things that maybe others, it's not doing the things that maybe others do. And so in that case, you see, another team, a different pole, he's going to take that shot. He was wide open, to be fair.
Right,
He could have taken that shot, but the opportunity to give it up and get that one more for the easier shot is again, why Corner Canyon is so dangerous.
Well, there might be opportunities later in this game to shoot as well, right?
Sure.
Kind of come out, build up some confidence, build up a lead, and tell you, Tim, the way this game's moving, we might have a chance to go grab some dinner, maybe dessert, catch a movie before our last game.
The legendary Movies 10 just down the road.
Frankowiak again, and it's 10-0 Corner.
You can get a giant pickle at the Movies 10 theater. This is my
Really?
hood. This is my hood, Dan. I grew up here.
Really?
And so many movies at the Movies 10. Of course, they redid it. It's much nicer now. It used to be the dollar theater, right? And your feet would stick to the ground if you kept them in one spot too long. But
did you ever get the pickle while watching a movie?
Oh, I hate pickles, so no. I just know they're there because my friends would always get them, and I would be disgusted.
Like a fresh pickle out of the jar.
Yeah,
That is weird.
10 inches long. It's
yeah,
disgusting.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's gross.
I mean, great for hydration, but that's what Diet Coke's for too, right, Tim?
Also true. Well, Coke Zero.
To each their own. Frankowiak with it again. 10-0 the lead. Of course, Lacrosse running clock at a 10-goal difference in the second half. So we still have plenty of time here with stoppages. It's one of the things you talked about. We don't see a lot of corner. When you watch it, you just appreciate what it is, right?
Absolutely.
It's just something else. Frankowiak, back to King. Quick. That one didn't make its way through, was deflected. Mason trying to get back on this. Scooped ahead. Weber. The stick work there, relentless from Lincoln Hakes. It helps corner get it back. Here's Quick. Quick's had a couple of those being knocked away here early.
Yeah, good job by the Weber Poles. You know, they didn't get here by chance. They are, you know, a team that can play and has had a great season, to be honest with you. You know, kind of outperformed where some thought that they might, and you know, like we talked about in Region 1, did really well and made it all the way to the semis. It's just a great experience for these players.
Tell you, I mean, I think most would say Region 4, one of the deeper regions with lacrosse. But Region 1 was fun this year.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about Davis, Weber, right? Both those teams making the semifinals. We saw Fremont. They were kind of, you know, had their moments. Farmington had that potential too. They would play to a time. I mean, there's some fun lacrosse in Region 1 this year.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's the region I hail from. So I go to a lot of those games as well, and there were some really competitive games. You know, Syracuse, for that matter, was on the other end of a couple games that could have gone either way. Clearfield's an up-and-coming program that I really like. You know, so it'll be interesting to see how that pans out over the next 3, 4, 5 years.
I think about this. We did Clearfield PG. Oh, good patience there by DeGracie. I see scores. We did Clearfield PG. We did Davis Lone Peak. We're doing Corner Canyon Weber now, and we'll do AF Davis this evening. 1-4, man.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for Region 3, 1-4 is where it's been at. You know, this year, and
there were some early losses in Region 3 in the playoffs, right?
Right.
We did see Harriman against Fremont.
That's right. But yeah, I mean, you just look at it, and that's sort of just the way that it's shaken out this year. But Dane, in my newsletter this week, you know, Region 4 has been dominant in every sport this year. You know, they were the American Four Corner was the basketball championship.
Lone Peak Corner football.
The football championship. Lone Peak won track this year. You know, Region 4 has just been on a tear through all sports, not just lacrosse.
I think soccer has something to say about that, but that might be one of the few. It's been
that's true.
And even that required an 18-seeded Harriman to make a big run in their playoff. That one plucked away by Erickson. Boy, good push there by King. Helps win that. DeGracie. Looking from X. Final seconds. Trying to peel around. That hit off the top of the goal. And that'll do it. First quarter comes to a close. 11-0. Corner making the statement here in the 6A semifinal. They lead Weber after one. You're watching UHSAA Boys Lacrosse Tournament only on KSLSports.com.
Jake said these are awesome for studying.
Line. You shouldn't ever take someone else's medication.
Know your script. Talk to your kids about the dangers of sharing prescriptions.
College wasn't built for me.
It didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
Start of the second quarter. All corner here early, 11-0. King with 3 goals, Frankowiak with 3 goals. 5 other goal scorers for corner. As we'll switch ends of the field, Santee looking for the long bomb here. Here's Quick. A little space, and that just missed.
They blew the whistle on that day, and the ball is still in bounds.
So here's the thing, Tim. This is a slower turf.
Yeah.
It has played mind games with teams. And so, like, a ball like that, you think it's got enough moment. It does not. And so, to your point, corner, there is no let up, right? Like, that tends to lend to their favor. There's been a big difference here at Westminster this week.
Yeah. You know, in this field designed as a soccer lacrosse, not necessarily like every sport like we see at high schools, and so that has something to do with the turf is longer. You can see on some of our zoom-ins that, you know, it looks like grass with, you know, it's 2 or 3 inches tall, and it's definitely different than these teams are used to.
And I actually like it. I think sometimes the speed of that low stuff, it's like, it's the eternal roll, right?
Right.
Weaver back on it. This might be the longest that corner's gone without scoring. Well, that one, the flag coming here on DeGracie. A check out of bounds. And 11-0 game's probably not going to get away with that.
No, definitely not, especially when the official was standing right in front of him. It happens.
We have had some chippiness today in our semifinals, the 5As. So
not unexpected in those games.
Yeah. And we might have some on Friday too, especially in that 5A.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm so excited for that. Back in play here with Alvord.
It'll be fun to do that 4A game too. You know, I think the teams that end up making that will be highly competitive. You know, so we should see a good one out of that one as well.
Those semis going on right now. We'll have 4A, 5A, 6A for you right here. Big rip there. And that was deflected en route. Weaver will have it. They're just running clock here. Oh, they were. As we get ours caught up. Trying to send one out. Last touched by Weaver. And now a penalty flag coming.
It's very possible they change the rule. Look, they change the different rules every year, right?
Yep.
It used to be if there was a conduct when you were on. Oh, that's right. Because now Weber was on defense. That was a conduct, so that would be a penalty. I was going to say if you have the ball and it's a conduct, it's just a change of possession.
Okay.
So yeah, that's right. They didn't change the rule.
Tell you, all these rule changes make it really hard on the life of a commentator, doesn't it?
For sure.
Yeah. Inside of 10 to go here, first half, 11-0 corner.
And Dane, you've done a great job as well on the girls' side, which is a completely different set of rules. A few similarities, but that's it.
You think it's the same sport. It's not. It's not. Corner with it here. Working up King. The shot just wide. Backed up here by corner. Fun nonetheless. In fact, we'll have the 4A, 5A, 6A Girls Championships live tomorrow from Zions Bank Stadium here on KSLSports.com.
Looking forward to getting to that facility.
Me too.
You know, call a game out there. Have you called a game there before?
No, I have not. Boy, that hit off the helmet. A rip by Quick. Saved by Heyman. No, in fact, this is the first event that Westminster has hosted for the UHSAA. Been fantastic.
Yeah.
Great facility. They've taken care of us here and had good crowds here too. It's been about the right size facility.
Absolutely, you know, great crowds. Looks like Frankowiak had that one.
That's number 4 for Blake today. 41 on the season for Blake. You know, he must have seen what John Trahan did. Had 6 goals in the first half.
Sure.
Or 5 in the first half. Had 48 goals. So he had 10% of his season goals in
Really?
the first half. In the first half. Or in the first quarter, my apologies.
Okay.
And Blake is there now. He's got 41 goals and 4 today. So
Blake's older brother, Zach, will be playing in the Final Four, the NCAA Division I Final Four this weekend for Rutgers. So tune into that. On the other side of the bracket, Bubba Fairman and the Pedersen brothers from Park City will be playing as well. So we're guaranteed to have a Utah in the NCAA National Championship
that's awesome. That one just wide off the shot there. I tuned in to Virginia and Maryland thinking, I can't wait.
Sure.
I watched the first part of that. I was like, this is not what I thought it was going to be, Tim.
And the Virginia coach said that this Maryland team is the best that he's seen since any team since 2006.
Wow.
So
wow.
Much like the Corner Canyon squad we have here today.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of felt that way last year, right? With how good they were. It's like, and they returned just about everybody.
Yeah, they lost Nielsen, right?
Yep.
Remember Nielsen? He was one of my favorite players. Then they picked up a couple of guys and had a whole summer, fall of club lacrosse and just, have gotten way better.
He grabbed that in his hand and got with it.
That's Alvord. We actually coached together in the summer. He comes and helps me on my little 6th grade team. Good guy.
Egan giving that off. Here's Carlson. Moved to the wing. Archibald. Inside of 8 to go here in the first half. Over with Osborne. Archibald. King in the middle. Here's Quick. Trying to work around. Osborne working inside, and that kept out by Heyman.
I'd love for Heyman to continue to play well. Could really pay dividends for Weber.
This ball sent ahead, gathered by Brenton. Talked about Pearson, our opening 49 goals for him this year. He has that lost and then is trying to get back on it here for the Warriors. Boy, good physical checking there by Hanks. And we'll get the whistle, the timeout here being taken by Corner. Timeout, Chargers. 7 minutes to go here in the first half.
College wasn't built for me.
It didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Test day's test day. Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
Tests on your time. Courses on your time. Graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of VU.
Corner King will have it coming out of the timeout. Here's Quick. Mason worked in front to Gracie. Boy, Heyman never even saw that coming, Tim.
It's just so quick, right? That's what makes them so dangerous, as they just play at this a speed that is unlike any other team here in Utah. And that's just so easy, right? That's a textbook little fundamental play there. And the thing I like about that is it's that quick release hitting that top shelf, right? A lot of kids can maybe shoot that shot, but they don't quite have that aim of hitting that top left corner.
I kind of have this secret dream, Tim. There's no way I have the courage to do it. I'd love to stand in a batter's box.
Okay.
And have, I don't know,
Someone.
Clayton Kershaw or someone just give me a heater, right?
Sure.
I'd love to see what it looks like. I don't have the courage to stand there. But it's one of those where it's like I feel like I'd be frozen just like that if I were on lacrosse, right? It's just like, oh, I missed it.
Totally.
Here comes Weaver. Long stick just wide. Captured here by Squish. No. Taken by Corner. And they're looking the outlet up the wing here with Jack Baird. It's Ethan Hill trying to gather it and does.
It's the weird turf.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna.
Yep.
That's what I'm gonna say it on. They've had a few of those where they just haven't been able to quite get it right off the turf.
Worked back to X here with Frankowiak. Approaching the midway point here in our second quarter. DeGracie. Quick. Tried to get one over to King. That was a little low. And again, one that would roll out in most high school stadiums. Staying in here. Corner on it. DeGracie going far side. What a look for Blaze.
That's a great expert move right there, Dane. He tests the water going inside. It's not there. And then we call that the question mark dodge, right? So if you looked at his path of running, it looks just like a question mark. That's something that I practice with my 6th grade team. Just excellent execution. And then he hits that far pipe it's right about hip height. That's just, man, that's great shot placement.
And, that's where covering corner is so difficult because you look statistically and King and Quick get all the talk. And obviously with their commitments, that's very natural. But you look at like Frankowiak or even DeGracie, and it's like, yeah, they're in the 30s of goals, but that's the level of talent they have, right?
Oh,
it just gets overshadowed a little bit.
Yeah, those guys would easily be the leading scorers on any other team in the state.
And the amazing thing is scoring is down on corner this year compared to last. I mean, this time last year we were talking about, King was over 100.
That's right.
And right?
That's right.
Good defense there by Stetson Hogue. And again, DeGracie peeling around straight away for Maxwell. Connor, the shot saved there by Haymond.
So here's the thing, Dane, is I've talked to a couple people in the Corner Canyon program. And again, they're in the program, so they're probably going to lean this way. But I said, look, you graduate a ton of talent, a ton of guys. What's in the pipeline for next year? And they all just kind of get smiles on their face going, it's not going to be 100% as great, but it's still going to be good. And so, obviously not looking too far ahead, but it'll be fascinating to see what happens next year.
Yes, it will. I mean, we've talked about Lincoln Hanks tonight. He's a junior. He'll be back. Porter Wells, a junior. He's been on the field. Dawson Anderson, we've seen him. He's a junior. Frankowiak's a junior.
Yeah, Osborne. He's got a goal or two.
So there is certainly still plenty of youth. And, you talk about the youth programs. They're winning a lot right now as well. So it's a good inventory of talent. That corner is another goal, this one from John King.
Dane, I've never seen a crowd so unenthusiastic about a goal, but it's just standard practice.
Yeah,
here.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't a wow one, right? It's like, okay. Good job, John. Number 85 for John King this year.
I think that's the limit. That's where people draw the line.
Is
85.
They
stop cheering after that.
Well, it's going to be a quiet Friday then.
Yeah. I suspect we'll see a bunch of people for this next game. This crowd's great, though. Filled out on both sides with red and blue. And
look, I saw some Davis people here to cheer on Weber.
Yep.
I think Corner's going to stay to see who they'll play.
Yep.
I mean, assuming the score holds, right?
Sure. You never know.
You kind of do. Goal scored there, 16-0 Corner.
It's the age-old question, Dane. How long do you leave your guys in, right? You want to have them get their reps in, get their rhythm in, but at the same time, you
have another game to play for.
Yeah, in less than 48 hours. I guess a little more than 48 hours. And so, when do those guys start coming off? we see a change here at the Face-Off X. Something interesting that Corner's done is their JV players will usually have white helmets, and their varsity guys have blue helmets. Just with the budgets, you can only buy so many helmets. So
is that what it is?
Yeah, something that they've employed there. And
I know budgets are a problem in Draper.
You live there, not me.
Sometimes, Tim, we won't go there. Captured here by Christensen. Inside of 4 to go here in the half. Let's just say I vote no on a lot of bonds and things that come, but my voice doesn't get heard very much. So here's Rich with Weber. Taken away by Brody. Right in the air and out of play. It'll stay. Coming up, there's Hogue, just couldn't gather it. Here comes Archibald. Working through. Oh, good idea to get it to Hill, but just couldn't connect. Still here, and John with another goal.
You'll notice, Dane, he's got a guy on his hands, right? That, as a defender, that's what you're taught. Put your stick on his hands, apply pressure. It's in theory supposed to mess up their shot, but King just so strong, able to just power through that check, and that's what happens. And, that's why the coaches at the next level, that's what they see in him, and that's why they're excited to have him.
3:10 to go. Again, this is just the first half.
Right. Right.
In a semifinal.
Right. I mean, Dan, that's part of the bigger conversation sort of in the lacrosse world is we used to be a sport that was, the brackets were settled by the RPI, the final RPI, regardless of classification. This year, obviously, they've changed that, so we have a 6A, 5A, 4A. And there's pros and cons of both, right? A pro to doing the RPI-based brackets is you may get closer games, in theory, starting in probably the quarterfinals. And then hopefully, this game would be maybe like a Park City or Olympus in place of Weber. Obviously a more fun game, probably. But at the same time, there is some wisdom in sticking with schools your own size or resources that are similar or stuff like that, right? And so it's an interesting debate. I still don't know quite where I fall, to be completely honest, because there's, like I said, there's pros and cons to both.
Quick has a shot that is saved by Haymond off the leg. Just has not been the day for Mason Quick. Fortunately, there's a lot of other offensive talent there for Corner, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the beauties.
Yeah. I'll tell you where I lean. Not that my opinion matters, because it does not.
You cover a lot of sports, though, so you see it all. So, yeah.
I think when a sport is young, I like the RPI seeding across classifications. Okay. I think competition is good. I think as you're trying to build programs, you want people to come out and play. You want them to have wins and runs, and I think that's good. So I liked the division format last year. I would have been a supporter of doing that for another 2 years, another realignment cycle, and then moving to a classification, but that's just an opinion.
That makes sense to me. The flip side of that is that lacrosse has been around since 1994 at the high school level, and obviously sanctioning though should take it to another level. We're hoping to get more and more teams each year. So we'll see. We'll see how that shakes up. And the other reality is you have teams that ebb and flow.
Oh, John King. We talked about the first half for Mason Quick. A couple of just uncustomary shots that he hasn't quite been able to finish, and that time King finds him right in front. Credit John the assist, Mason the goal.
And how many times have we seen that in the last 2 years, for that matter, right? Just phenomenal players that play so well together. Excited to see what they do at the next level. Quick going on a LDS mission, so we'll have to wait a little bit to see what he brings to the table at Utah, but should be fun.
I tell you, he's got to be excited about the trajectory of that program, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Coming off the
Utah
best
had this year.
Best record in program history. Obviously, a great foundation by the previous staff and Coach McMinn, really taking it, and running with it. And it's going to be fun next year, Dane, getting in. They'll still remain in the ASUN, but adding a couple new teams, which should make it even more exciting.
Timeout here, taken by Corner. 1:09 to go. Timeout. We'll step aside and be back after this. Welcome back. Out of the timeout here. Archibald. Working to King, the behind the back. Shot and goal for John. Hey, that drew a little bit more of a response.
A couple oohs and ahs from the Corner Canyon faithful.
You just got to mix it up a little bit there, huh?
Yeah. They were bored of the overhand goals. They were sick of those.
Yeah. I want to see the under the leg. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, we saw that. Well, Corner saw it.
Oh,
remember? It wasn't Mater Dei. It was the other one.
Corona Del Mar.
Corona Del Mar. You remember that?
You gotta be careful. That's PTSD for some of these guys.
I know, but I saw it and I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, that was.
I think the whole world saw that one.
That was something else. And in fairness, look, Corner kind of took it in the social comments. It was like, come on, guys. Like, really? But anyway.
Talk about a great game, right? That game went to double overtime. Both teams trading blows back and forth. Corona Del Mar went on to win one of the regions in Southern California, so no slouch there.
DeGracie with the finish. 15 seconds left.
In the first half.
Yep. Yeah, thank you.
I don't want fans just tuning in to think that we're in the fourth.
Yeah, in the first half. Face off. 10 seconds left on the clock. Technical issue there. We'll just count it down for you. That was a little behind. Captured by Archibald. 4 seconds left. And that kept out. King tried for back-to-back behind the backs and was finally denied. But 20-0 the advantage for Corner at the break. You're watching the 5A semifinal on KSLSports.com. Welcome back, Westminster College. Corner Canyon Weber, 6A semi, and Corner doing what Corner does, Tim. it's just been about as lopsided of a game as you would expect or could expect.
It has been, and obviously if you're Weber, you knew you were going to coming up against the best team. But I think that you felt maybe you could play a little bit better, right? And so I expect we'll see some of that in the second half here, especially as corner starts to rotate through some of their guys, get different looks, get different players on the field. We were talking to one of the parents of one of the stars on Corner Canyon, and he made the comment of, his son hasn't played a full game since their California trip. That was, early April?
Yeah.
So, that's just what this team's done, though. And I credit to the coaches for keeping everyone involved throughout that time, right? Like, that's a tricky thing to manage with expectations and goals and all of that stuff. And so just a credit to the Corner Canyon coaching staff. They've done a phenomenal job this year.
Here's Osborne. Goal scoring. You can't recap 20 goals, but 6 goals for John King, 4 for Frankowiak, 4 for DeGracie. And running clock here in the second half. And Corner Canyon here moving this ball around. Mason Quick, who's got it right now, has not had one of his higher scoring games. Did have a goal in the first and second. A couple of looks, but really that's been the player Heyman's had the best luck against is King scoring here again for Corner.
Looks like Corner has employed more of a slow it down, settled offense, not really attacking super early in the possession. It almost felt awkward there for Frankowiak to have to dish it to King wide open in front. Kind of like that he was almost like regretful or resentful that he had to pass it, because he knew they were going to score.
And that goes back a little bit to, how do you maintain a culture when you've got a team as loaded with talent as this is? We've talked about some of the players that, could be having all-time type seasons on other rosters, right? And the ability of this staff to be able to kind of keep everyone locked in and loaded despite that is another face-off win here for Corner, going the way of Anderson. This one moving much quicker. That jarred loose. Kept here by, Mallory had it. A high check there by Frankowiak as this will trickle out. Here's Frankowiak. Lowering the shoulder there. Looking for that shot, and that was just wide on the shot of Baugh. Backed up. Maxwell with it. Nope, that's Baugh. That was Maxwell.
You're just predicting the future.
Yeah,
okay.
Right. That's exactly what it was. I knew where they were going to go. Stratton. Backside cut. Just wide on the shot by Porter Wells.
The other thing that, if you're watching and are maybe new to lacrosse or young in the game, one thing that Corner does so well is the second it hits their stick, they're looking automatically for that next pass, right? They're heads up. They're looking for cutters, looking to see if a guy is open. A lot of times younger players will get in this habit of, okay, I've got the ball, I'm going to go run around and not even bother to look up. But Corner just does a nice job, especially their attackmen, at looking up as soon as they get the ball and finding that next feed.
There's Maxwell coming around, and that was saved. Wells. Porter. Bounce shot there. Tough angle kept here by Frankowiak. I kind of lost where that one went. Baugh with it. Looking back for Maxwell. Couldn't get there. Weber will have it. Little juke there put on by Hunter Jones as Crash Coggins trying to come up. I thought I saw his Uncle Dane here today, and timeout here going to be taken by Weber. Timeout Warriors, 6:50 to go here in the third.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
Welcome back out of the Weber timeout. Santee trying to track this. Oh, just wide. Look at Aiden Santee. Boy, and you know, that's what an athletic goalie can do for you, right?
That was awesome. I was hoping that went in because that'd be
great,
awesome.
wouldn't it?
But Santee, just a great job at tracking that. Almost like a corner or a wide receiver with the ball over the shoulder, but an excellent job. And it almost still went in, even though he deflected it. What a play.
Yeah, for those of you I'm a big hockey guy, that almost had the feel like one of those pucks is just trickling down. You're like trying to blow it out. No.
Oh, yeah. And that's a great little heads-up play there by Weber, right? They see out of the timeout that the corner's sort of in this 10-man ride. And, you know, hey, let's take a shot at him, see what happens. I like it.
I mean, what else do you have to lose, right?
Yeah.
A game like this is...
Talk about a moment you'd never forget.
No kidding,
If that went in, right?
Another goal here for corners. This is scored by the senior Matthew Mallory. 5th of the year for Matt.
Starting to call some different names here in the second half.
Yeah, I just heard someone say, yeah, milkshake. I don't know if that's like paying off a bet or if that's a nickname.
Oh. It's both today.
If it's not a paying off, like, it should be.
Right.
Matt, you should get a milkshake today. I don't have to pay up for that, but...
Speaking of 10-man rides.
Yeah.
There was a certain school here locally where if a player scored a long goal like that on a 10-man ride, the coaches would buy them a Nielsen's frozen custard. And so the play was called Nielsen's. So if you heard Nielsen's being yelled from the bench, that meant to shoot it because there was an open cage.
I like that. You know, there was a football. I don't know if I should go into this.
You want to be careful with who you identify.
It's probably not going to land very well for this viewership audience. There were, yeah. Corner with it.
You've given away too much already, Dave.
I know. But, you know, anyone who knows football is like, I already know. So we were trying to dice through. Santee with the save. Penalty flag here on the play. And that will stop it. A rare stop it. No, my apologies.
Sorry. They'll keep that one going.
So the real question is, does Weber find the back of the net before this is over?
Definitely.
All right.
Absolutely they will.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you talk about moments and semifinals and wanting to have those memories. I hope they do. They were inches away just a minute or so ago. And I love the attack there by Squish, right? We're still going at it and just missed. Or was saved, I should say.
Yeah. You know, and this will be a good opportunity to maybe pull one back here.
Weber will be man up. That one intercepted by White. Last year in the semi, Corner conceded 2 early goals against Brighton before their big run. Today, they've been perfect defensively. Working in front, and the save by Heyman. He's had a couple of those plays today. I know a lot of people are going to look at this score. There's reasons for that. Heyman has really not played bad. Pressure there. Boy, no give up there in Muramoto. This one sent down and will roll out. Up to through the middle. Here's Dixon. Oh, a little hip check there. Here's Wells. Down with Archibald. We have seen, I think, days for a lot of the starters complete. Tim?
Yeah, unless we get maybe a special opportunity like a man up or man down. It's safe to say that Corner's putting in second, third string guys, as they should, right?
Yeah, yep. Final 2 minutes here of the third quarter. Wells. Outlets it. Mallory. That pass just a little long for Muramoto. Dominguez for the Warriors.
Corner staying in their 10-man ride. It's interesting because usually on a 10-man, you're going to send your attackman to one of the wings to pull out the goalie so that you can have a long shot on goal. But Squish opting to just hang there at GLE and see what happens.
Baugh. Worked over here. That was Oldroyd. Now to X. Pushed out there by the defensive Erickson. Final 30 seconds here of quarter number 3. Wells coming around. Tough shot save made by Heyman. Oh, giving up. And just wide. Looking up through the middle. 5 seconds left here in the quarter.
Goal's
Weaver
open.
Coming. Got to shoot it.
Oh.
Santee able to get back, and the quarter expires. We head to the 4th in the 6A semi on KSLSports.com. Start of the fourth. Corner set to advance to the 6A final. That game will be Friday, Zions Bank Stadium. If you can't make it, you can tune in right here on KSLSports.com. It was Couture on the face-off. We kind of got a bit of a notice that might happen as a penalty flag here on the play. And looks to be a penalty here on the Chargers. Switching ends of the field, got a new goalie here for corner. Mitchell Phippen, the sophomore, coming in the cage. Aiden Santee, perfect in net today. And there's the goal for Weber. Squish easily, able to find the space and scores for the Warriors. Squish is on the board.
Yeah, you know, he's been the stud for Weber all year long, even last year as well, and we thought one would come. We thought one would come for the Warriors,
yeah.
and there it is.
Work that up high, see a little bit of separation. Squish with the goal. You know, good for Squish. We talked about a senior. He had that big year last year for Weaver, taking them all the way to that B Division semi. Talk about now 46 goals, 46 assists. Can't get more balanced than that, and able to capitalize his senior year last game with a goal.
Yep, he's heading to play, I believe, at Wagner next year, which is a D1 program in New York.
Good for him. I don't know if you told me this, Tim. I found out today, Olympus, Hunt Murphy heading to BYU.
Yeah.
And Rossi coming here, Westminster.
Yeah, they are. And we'll see another Westminster commit in our next game. Two, actually, McKay Locke and Rhett Rice. So one from Davis, one from American Fork. They'll both come here. Rhett going on an LDS mission. So we'll see him in a little bit. So
that should be a doozy, right? Davis AF.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, AF has some of the tallest players in high school lacrosse. One is 6'9", I believe. Or 6'7", one of the two. I asked because my nephew is 6'7" and played attack for Highland, and so I was wondering to myself who's the tallest player in high school lacrosse, and it's them on American Fork, so we'll see them next. And just physical, you know, they play physical like Lone Peak did, and that was just a slugfest on Saturday with Davis, which went to overtime. Super fun game. Really looking for this next game for sure.
If you hear something in the background, it's me knocking on wood. Tonight's game has to live up to what that quarter was, right?
Yeah, it has to.
Yeah. One of the best lacrosse games I think we've done, Tim. That was phenomenal. We got some good ones.
For sure. Yeah, definitely this year. Yeah, for sure.
Maxwell. Continuing around. Good defense there by Dominguez. Shot just wide. This is Leighton. Boy, how did he hold on to that? All the defensive checking there of Weber. Couldn't jar it loose. They'll have it here. That's having your team's back right there, Erickson. Got to get this up. Will, but too much behind. It'll roll out. Phippen. That one over pursued. Here comes Squish. He's got an opportunity for a second. And he finishes. Well, it's a sophomore goalie in Fippen, and I love bringing him on, right? Get him some playoff experience, go up against a really good scorer, and that's a moment for him to learn from.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he'll remember that one. Both players will.
Yeah.
As they move forward in their careers, and just an opportunity, you know, well taken there by Weber, and 22-2 has a nice ring to it.
It's hard, right? Because you're coming out. I mean, we've seen Santy do that.
Yeah.
Likely how he's coached to play that, and one where concede the possession there and find yourself in a full retreat mode, and Squish able to score it. 47 now. Picked up here by Will Perry. Looking up for Old Droid. Middle shot wide there from Leighton. Midway point of this fourth quarter. Is Park City the closest in-state game Corners had this year?
And last year as well.
Yeah.
Yep. Goes back to the whole Class A versus 6A, 5A discussion. You know, this year I think Olympus would throw their name in that ring as well. And
definitely. And, you know, that's the other side of it. I mean, even I've talked with Coach Merrill. I know you have. And you're talking with him. He's like, look, I love that we have a chance to play for a state championship this year. You know, in divisions, A was kind of the state champion, and the B and C, you know, he even acknowledged, yeah, it didn't really feel like a state championship. It felt like a tournament champion, right?
Yeah, which is fine.
Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And you have the trophy, and you know. But he's like, I love we get to play for a state championship in 5A, and I can appreciate that.
Definitely. You know, other states, Dane, which would be fun. I doubt we'd ever see it here, but
that goal, good no-looker from Corbin Alford, the junior, scoring it.
We saw him do that a few times this year. Alford with a great goal there. Other states, though, Dane, when they have these classification differences, they'll sometimes get into like a postseason tournament. So, you know, this tournament ends Friday. Imagine next Friday, Saturday, you play in a 4-team bracket with the 6A, 5A, 4A champions, and then throw in a at-large.
Yeah.
Would be kind of fun.
It would be fun. It would be fun. It was even, I said this earlier today, Coach Merrill told me, we would love to play corner.
Yeah.
Like, we don't beat them, but we'd love to have the experience, right?
Sure.
Like, we'd love to go up with them this year. And
yeah.
Like, you know, that'd be a great opportunity. You know, whether they beat Park City or not, you know, it'd be fun to see kind of top of the classifications go at it, and especially after it's been kind of played through and you really know, right? Like, some of these teams try to connect it preseason or non-region. You appreciate that, but you just never quite know how it's actually going to shake out.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be amazing to see that, and, you know, the saying is give the people what they want. That's what the people want. But obviously a mechanism above both of our pay grades in order to figure that out. And
challenging, where this week is graduation. In fact, tonight, Corner Canyon's graduation. So some of these seniors electing to play in a state semifinal over walking, and I don't know if that makes moms happy or not. It's probably a bittersweet for them, right?
Here's what I told a fan I was talking to about this at work. They've put way more into lacrosse, probably, than a 4-year high school career.
How dare you? How dare you? I'm just teasing. Save there.
Is Corner Canyon a 4-year or is it a 3-year?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I think it's 4-year.
Okay.
I think.
I went to 4-year. I always thought that was the standard until I met my wife who said it wasn't.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I think that's the way it should be as well.
Of course, I went to high school in Idaho where nothing makes sense apparently. So, you know.
Yeah, they have turkey legs at football games. What is that?
That makes the most sense. I'm telling you. If there's booster presidents listening, turkey legs at football games, you'll clean up this one loose in front of the cage and increase violation.
You'll never need to sell Little Caesars Crazy Dough cards again.
No. I'm telling you, you do it once and you'll be like, that's the best idea ever. Imagine that with Charger fries. Okay. I don't know if you've had Charger fries.
I have.
Yeah?
I have actually, yeah.
Imagine a turkey leg with, look, I don't think you'd be able to finish it. Here's a long one. Oh. There's the idea by Weber. I love it.
I think we should just finish the game like that. So
Yes.
Corner Canyon, give the ball back to Weber, and we'll just continue to watch that the rest of the game.
Just loft them, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, the senior Miko Lightning, he wanted a senior moment. And officials
What kind of buffet are we going to get at the finals? Some food trucks?
I don't know.
Sure, there's got to be something, right?
You'd think so. I don't know what the concession setup is.
Okay.
Worked in front. Oh, and that just came out of Christensen's stick. Couldn't get it on frame. I know there's a Chip Cookies right down the street.
Okay. Let's get some delivery.
Oh, man, it's going to be a heavy calorie day for me Thursday and Friday because you can't say no to those.
I mean, Dane, you've gone to more lacrosse games this week than most people do in a season.
Yeah.
This is your 7th. You'll do an 8th after this. Then you've got 3 tomorrow and 3 the next day.
Yeah.
Jeez, Dane.
In fact, it's nearly a full season for me in 4 days.
Yeah.
Goal scored for Corner Canyon. That was Parker Vincent with the goal. As we're inside the final minute, 23-3. Talk about Region 1, great year for Weber. But today, just, I don't know many that thought this game might go another way, and it's gone heavily in favor of Corner. There's the whistle here. Weber will have it. As the final seconds preparing to tick off here. Working up here. 2 seconds left. Porter Wells will score it at the horn. Give the assist to Muramoto. And Wells puts the final touch on a 24-3 victory for Corner. Tim, thoughts? And
In my recap or my preview for this game, I said that we'd likely see Corner Canyon score 22 goals or more and allow 6 or less.
They don't call them the best in the biz for nothing, folks.
It's just simple math. John King, obviously the stud, I would say, for this match.
Yeah.
No secrets here. Just did what we thought would happen, and look forward to seeing him again on Friday.
Great year for Weber. We talked about the 4th seed. Just you're going up against Goliath, and they gave it their all. Careers for Squish Easley coming to a close. He had a pair of goals in the 4th. A lot of other seniors on this roster that we've talked about. But there's some young players here. Pierce Britton, one of them. There's some other talent coming back. This program continued to be built under Coach Gordon, but today it was all Corner, 24-3 over Weber. Join us at 6 o'clock. We'll have the other 6A semi coming up. Davis and American Fork. For Tino Psyche, my name is Dane Stewart. Thanks for joining us. And we'll see you either in the semi or for the 6A final on Friday.